rulings from prosecutors and ruled that Hudson could no longer remain in the community. The court found the evidence against him very clear and convincing, noting concerns about his escalating behavior, lack of remorse, and the violent nature of the charges. Hudson surrendered to the U.S. Marshals at the Tampa federal courthouse, where he was immediately taken into custody. He is now being held in Miami-Dade Juvenile Facility while awaiting trial as an adult on the charges including first-degree murder and aggravated sexual abuse. The judge's order makes it clear. Hudson will remain behind bars until his September 8th trial date. For investigators, this marks a very significant shift. The prosecution has argued from the very beginning that Hudson poses a danger to others, a danger to the community, and the court has now finally agreed. With his release revoked, the case moves into its next phase, with the defendant fully detained and under federal supervision. For the family, it's a very difficult moment. It's a moment that carries a weight that words barely capture. They have lived every day since Anna's death under the shadow of uncertainty, knowing the person accused of taking her was still walking free. When the judge ordered Hudson into custody, the family released a brief statement thanking the FBI, the United States Attorney's Office, and the United States Marshals Service. Their message was very simple. The relief that he can no longer harm anyone else while he waits for his trial. They were always very concerned of his being out and loose within a community. This update does not erase their grief. It does not undo the loss of a child whose life was stolen far too soon. It doesn't change the fact that they have a son that killed his stepsister. It's a heavy burden for any family to go through. But it does not bring any measure of safety or any sense that the system is finally catching up to the severity of what happened to Anna. For families in cases like this, even small steps forward can feel like the very first breath after months of being underwater. Cases involving juvenile defendants charged as adults is still relatively rare, and the court's decision to revoke release is even rarer. It signals the seriousness of the evidence and the risk factors identified by the prosecutors. With Hudson now in custody, the legal process moves forward without the added concern of community danger or a flight risk. The September 8th trial remains the next major milestone. Between now and then, both sides will continue preparing their cases, but the landscape has changed. The defendant is no longer free. The family no longer has to watch him move through the world while they mourn for their daughter Annie. For the Kepner family, this is not a closure, but it is a turning point. It is a path towards justice, and they hope that that justice will unfold. So we keep the Kepner family in our prayers, and we hope that justice is served for Anna. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.